I think with the power of the quantum realm, they're either going to go to different universes or different points in the timeline and use the events that the stones were at their height or at their most featured.
Welcome back to Fortnite Geeks. Once again, I'm Joseph and I'm Geeking, and this is a place where geeks can geek out. Here's our special guest this week. It's Nick. You remember Nick?
I'm here too, and I'm Nick.
Yeah. So you can see he was on the Power Rangers episode. I put a little like right here. And you've been amazing. You know, we've been on a couple episodes for the Marvel cinematic universe.
Yes. Gearing up towards Endgame, and with the Endgame releasing this week, we've been really stoked. And we want to talk about some theories that we think we might just see below.
Yes. So
do we want to give any kind of like a potential spoilery kind of warning?
So before we go in, since this could get a little spoily, spoiler alert.
We don't know anything that's going to happen in these movies. Like, we've probably read things online, and some of this stuff might be real. So,
just in case, if you're watching this after it's been released, it might happen. Who knows?
Then in the comments, you guys are so wrong and terrible. And
Here's what actually happens, and just be that guy that everybody hates.
You didn't even mention Peter Dinklage coming through and saving the entire universe.
Does he?
I mean, he did build.
Is that what you're
Stormbreaker,
theorizing?
right?
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
That doesn't mean much.
Look, you don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. So, guys, what do you think is going to happen in Endgame? How is Thanos getting defeated?
It's kind of a tough situation because we have like time manipulation at play with the time stone.
Right.
We also have what's referenced in Ant-Man and the Wasp. They specifically say, "Oh, hey, Paul Rudd, watch out for the time vortexes."
At the end credits of Ant-Man
In the quantum realm, yes, and the end credits. So they've already established that you have the time stone, that you have the quantum realm, which is this like God space where anything is possible,
it's so
literally.
infinitesimally small.
Yes.
But you're actually broken reality.
So and we don't even know if like Paul Rudd may have just not been one of the ones chosen, but obviously he wasn't vaporized, so maybe being in the quantum realm saved him from the snap potentially because of where that exists.
Well, and then how is he maneuvering through time as well? Because I mean, like, Hank Pym's wife still aged throughout all of that.
Yes.
So
she like absorbed the quantum radiation,
and then she can use it. Like, so she now. How long has Hank Pym been in there? And now does he have the ability to control quantum?
I mean, Scott Lang.
Yeah. Sorry, Scott Lang.
You said Hank Pym. Yes.
Yeah. Scott Lang. Sorry, I was gonna call him Paul Rudd.
So do we want to we're all theorizing that there's a time jump of some kind?
I definitely think there is, especially because of you saw in the trailer, in the teaser, it was Steve Rogers and Natasha looking at the footage, and he says, "Is this live footage or is this old footage?" And if you zoom in, you can see it says archives. Yep. So that's where really a lot of this time theory is coming from. That Paul Rudd came out of the quantum theory in some different time.
There's also like there's scenes where we see Clint Barton, who's Hawkeye, right now taking the personification we think of Ronin.
Yeah.
So clearly that's not something where he goes from like, hey, I'm a happy family guy, retired, to just being like a cold-blooded assassin in Japan, which we think that's where that's happening.
His family's dead.
His family's dead.
His family is super dead.
If you look really closely at the first teaser trailer, there's a scene where he's like showing what I'm assuming is his daughter how to do the bow and arrow, and she goes to high five him, and you can see her hand like getting black. Like I'm pretty sure that's in there. I paused it many times, and I'm like, I feel like
she disappears in that moment.
They're having like a sweet family moment, setting up the picnic, having a great father-daughter moment, goes for the high five, dissipates, and he's just sitting there like, no, his baby's gone, his son's gone, his daughter's gone, his wife's gone.
I think,
you would assume everybody.
See, my thing is, I if we're going back to the time jump, I think we're looking at 2 to 3+ years. Like the world. A year is a long time, so they could very well just say the year anniversary. That would be much more poetic.
Yeah.
Honestly, from a storytelling perspective.
It's cleaner.
But it is cleaner.
It's either 1 or 5.
I like the idea that they have adjusted to this new form of life. Maybe that happens after a year. And, because for me, you don't see Hawkeye going from 0 to 100 on the murder factor. For a short period of time. I can see him getting ragey. And again, like, I like the idea of a year. But I like the idea of having a longer span where the world has literally adjusted. And they've moved on. They've moved on. Everyone's moved on. The only people that haven't are the Avengers, because they're like, we can do something about this. We just need somebody to help us do this.
And so here's where I disagree, because I look at the clips, like with, again, Steve and Natasha, they're looking at the missing. Like they have the shots of all the people that have disappeared.
Yeah.
So if it was a long time later, they wouldn't continue to look at that. Like that feels like more of a fresh thing. They would review them, but it feels more like they're figuring out all who is there.
Yeah.
And with
But again, we don't know if that's like they've regrouped a couple weeks
Like
or
remember,
days
they
later.
could like this could be like
Multiple jumps.
It
It could be multiple jumps. Like this is happening months, year.
Like like
years.
I just think it's
like
I
it
think
like
it's
types
a
out
year
like
tops.
Yeah, I think the thing that kind of disproves my own theory is like, is Tony Stark gonna be floating around space for 3 years?
don't think
you know what I'm
so.
saying? Like that seems
He's
like
not gonna let that happen.
yeah.
But
so
okay, but here's the thing: he'll need to get someplace to develop the technology to get him back.
potentially, I mean, he's got Nebula there. He's got the ship. He's got his wits. Like I'm taking those scenes as like he's gonna die, like he was gonna die in that cave, right? And he is pulling something out of his butt like he did in that cave. And I think they're using that symbolism to say like, Tony was in this space. At one point, we're going to bring that full circle.
Yeah.
Now he's using his wits and his buddy, Nebula, like he used the guy from Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
And they're going to get themselves out of this situation somehow.
This is a really good segue into what I think. This is where I want this theory to end. Someone's gonna die, possibly multiple people. But based off what you just said, do you think Tony Stark is gonna die?
No.
Do you think Captain America is gonna die? Do you think no one's gonna die and they're just going to be displaced? Like, how do you think it's gonna happen?
There's two theories I have in the deaths. I don't think I would love Tony Stark to have a happy ending, honestly. He's gone through so much. They've all gone through so much. I think the two biggest people who have, in my opinion, have gone through the most, besides maybe Thor, because he's gone through some radical changes, are Cap and freaking Iron Man. Right? Like Iron Man's
As
had
it
this
should be.
exactly.
Right.
Iron Man's had this full story of like going from this rich, selfish man to this unselfish man that's suffering for the sins of his past, to moving forward, to then moving backwards because he's afraid, to then moving forward again, to then get his butt handed to him and his intern killed right in front of his eyes. So I think in terms of storytelling, he's got Pepper Potts. They've kind of alluded to the fact that they're about to have a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would love to see him finally walk away,
Yeah.
finally saving the universe like he intended,
Yeah.
being able to hand over the Avengers to a new generation, and then moving on in some kind of capacity, maybe being involved, like maybe the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. or maybe still providing
can't
tech,
not be
right?
involved.
Like he's
Right.
still going to be in the world, but it's him and Pepper Potts and their child, whoever that may be, walking away in the end into the sunset, and him finally getting his happy ending. And I think that will ultimately be because Cap is going to make the sacrifice play.
Yeah, I definitely think with all the trailers where he's like stroking the Peggy photo and he's looking at it, and I think in the end, because there's no other Captain America movies planned in the future that you
Chris
know of.
Evans and Robert Downey Jr.'s
I both said
contracts
they're done.
are both with this.
Yeah.
I think Tony would come back. I think Robert Downey would come back in some capacity. I think Chris Evans isn't negatively done with the franchise. I think he's just done and he wants to do other things. Right?
Yeah, because this is really boxed of it. Do you remember that? Because this isn't his first superhero movie.
No.
And I'm not talking about Fantastic Four. I'm
Not
talking about
terrible, but not.
I was talking about the one where I think it's Push. I think it's what it's called.
Push was awesome, dude.
Push is incredible.
Totally bombed.
I forgot about Push. I forgot. I didn't know that was
Push
him.
was
Yeah,
freaking
right.
sweet.
It was Chris Evans, wasn't it?
Chris Evans, yeah.
Yeah, he
His
has,
father
like-
had the powers, and he got like a version of it too.
Yep.
And that was very cool.
Push was a super good. Now we're talking.
Now
about
we're gonna
it.
get derailed by Push. Okay.
I don't want that to happen.
So
Yeah, I do think Cap's gonna die, but I want to know, how do you think they're actually going to defeat Thanos? Because in this newest trailer that just launched last week, they say like, okay, we all got to go together, and they're like, what's gonna be the difference? Because we tried that last time and we lost. So what's the key? And then Captain Marvel's like, we didn't have me.
So I think here's kind of, I have a couple theories,
Yeah.
but here's the one where I feel like it might be the most feasible. I think they're gonna play back the tapes. Maybe Tony Stark will be back at this point in the story,
Okay.
and they're gonna say like, "Yo, we need to go get Thanos. How are we gonna do that?" And Marvel will show up. Captain Marvel will show up.
Right.
They're gonna have their conversation. They're gonna blame her and be like, "Why weren't you here to save the day?" And she's gonna explain like, "Yo, because other worlds don't have the Avengers.
Yeah. Just
they,
twist that.
They
knife.
just have me." So
That's a great line.
so I think they're gonna come together. They're gonna be like, "Yo, let's go kick Thanos' butt." They're gonna go find him. I think they will defeat Thanos. I don't know if they will kill him, but I think they will find a way to incapacitate him or defeat him. At that point, I think the Infinity Gauntlet will be unusable, and they will say, "Yo, we defeated him, but we still feel terrible. We can't reverse what we did. We need to find a way to reverse what he did.
And that's where Scott comes in.
Potentially Scott, I think with the power of the quantum realm, they're either going to go to different universes or different points in the timeline and use the events that the stones were at their height or at their most featured, and use this opportunity to like either steal the stones from the timelines or the alternate universes. I don't know what issues that would create in time, but
create a lot.
But I that's why I skew more towards they're going to find a way to like use like the power of that stone to recharge that stone.
Okay.
Like recharge the stones and then find a piece of technology to harness them to undo the snap.
Because the stones are useless, right?
Individually, they're extremely powerful. The stones themselves.
But after he snapped, like it almost looks like
they were
lost other lives.
damaged. They were damaged. Yeah, the gauntlet was like cracked, and he kind of just like, you know, like I did what I gotta do. I don't even need this.
And he woke up, had his morning coffee. He's like, ugh.
He still got it on, right? It's just like
well, no, I think
like part of his arm
I think on his way to like the farm, I think he has it, and then I think he like gets rid of it, and he's just kind of sitting there.
I'll
like,
have to go back and look
yeah,
at this.
it's kind of a very like quick little event.
Yeah.
So in that front,
yeah.
There was something they said in Thor Ragnarok where she's going through like the like our boardroom, I guess, like his like treasure, and she points at the Tesseract and goes fake. Like she immediately knew that Tesseract was fake.
Wait, what's this? The Ragnarok?
The Ragnarok.
You're talking about? You're talking about.
Helen was
I thought that was the
through.
gauntlet. She kind of just like pushed it over.
She did that into the. I thought she did it to the Tesseract too. I thought they were both fake. But what I could see is if Hank Pym now understands how to harness the quantum realm, and he's a master thief, he could.
See, I don't think it's gonna be. Did you say Hank Pym again? I think it's.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because Hank Pym to me is.
But here's the point though. Scott Lang isn't smart. Like he's not a brilliant scientist.
But he's a thief.
But he's got the know-how of the quantum realm. And again, we don't know how long he's been in there. So maybe he's affected and is a higher intelligence because of that, kind of like Hank Pym's wife. Now we do have Captain Marvel, who has Tesseract-powered powers. We do have Scott Lang, who has a way into the quantum realm via that quantum tunnel in the van, right? Mm-hmm. And then eventually we're going to have Tony Stark and Bruce Banner in the same room. Mm-hmm. And either I think they're going to make like a large-scale quantum tunnel, or they're just going to use the freaking van.
And I wonder if sending Captain America back in time is going to be
is a possibility.
Right. It's like
I wonder if he's going to see Peggy.
That was my second theory of either he will see Peggy in their attempt to like recharge the Tesseract at that point in time, or I think the end of the film, in place of him dying, Tony will take the opportunity to be like, "We're bros. I'm going to send you home." I don't think that would affect the timeline negatively. You would just have an older Cap from the future in the past. As long as he sets the events of Captain America through, he's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know how deep they'll go on that, because that creates a lot of like Back to the Future-esque like
yeah,
issues.
You mess with time. You're messing with
because
20.
But that's just me wanting that cheesy happy ending of him getting that last
as soon
dance,
as Captain America would crash in, you would need to, while that Captain America freezes, the new Captain America would need to take his place. That's where time gets a little tricky, but they could have it where Captain America still gets to go to the future and do everything he's done, and this Captain America now...
And then it just becomes the new timeline.
Yeah.
This always happening.
So waiting for that to happen.
Let's summarize really quick where we're at. So we got the time jump in some capacity.
No matter what, there will be a
time jump.
I don't know if we're aligned in my idea that the Avengers take a shot at Thanos right off the bat, probably defeat him, or maybe they get defeated, and they have to try something different to undo the snap.
Right.
I don't know if that's...
If he can't use the gauntlet, then what is he? He's just a big purple...
He's a
Grimace.
What's it called? Titan?
But he's still... I mean, he had
strong,
some of the stones at the beginning of the film. That's kind of why I feel like he might have whooped on Hulk, but he seems like he's a pretty powerful being on his own.
And I think it depends on which stones he used that he fried, because some of those might still be up and running.
Like maybe he has limited use, but he just can't do something on a cosmic scale like he did before. Because that would make more sense. Because otherwise, Captain Marvel's just gonna...
I'm wondering if they're lightly drained, but he could still like phase in and out of time. I wonder if he could still do everything he could do.
Maybe use them one at a time, but not all together.
Yeah.
Right.
So that happens. Where are you guys at with, I guess, which would be like the second act of the film, which is what they're trying to do to undo the snap?
So you really feel like there's going to be Act 1, defeating Thanos, Act 2,
Out of a 3-hour movie.
The Russos have said this. All of the and they might be lying. All of the trailer footage we've seen so far, that is the first 20, 30 minutes.
I believe that.
Which in essence probably isn't the whole first act, but it's like half of the first act. It's the 3-hour film.
So what I'm curious about is they've said that, I don't believe that. Like, like they did the thing. Like, I think they showed you some of
cheats.
it, but they've always been one. Like, they change parts of their trailers.
Yeah,
like
they do.
They add things in their trailer.
Yep. They
And
take
then
things out,
those
they add
things
some
didn't
stuff in.
actually exist. Like, the Hulk was in the Infinity War trailer.
Yep.
He was not in Infinity War.
Well, at the
not in
beginning,
that
but
scene.
not in that scene. And who knows? That scene could be from Endgame.
Right.
Like maybe what they undo is they go back to the Battle of Wakanda, and now they got everybody with them. They got the Hulk
They
with
have
them.
shot that already?
Dude, I'm pretty sure they
It's
shot these
definitely
movies pretty.
possible.
When Infinity War was about to come out, they had leaked set photos of Endgame, which
Oh,
it wasn't
yeah?
Endgame yet, where they showed Captain America and like the Battle of New York. But
Yeah.
Ant-Man was there with them. That's my theory about using time travel to like go back to key
They're gonna-
points. Like I think they're gonna do the Avengers greatest hits. They're gonna go back to all the best parts of the Avengers universe and be like, here's the throwback, charge the stone, get out.
I think that's right, and here's why. Russo brothers said these are the key movies you need to go see if you're gonna want to watch Endgame. And in those movies, they had Captain America, his first movie, and Iron Man's first movie, and the Avengers' first movie. But in those three,
That was the only 3 they mentioned?
they mentioned like two or three others. But like we did 20, they only mentioned like 7 or 8.
Really?
But here's the thing: those could just be key films of like explaining where the gems came from and things like that.
Maybe
But again,
why
they
would
could
he
be points where
why
they
would
go
he say
back.
Iron Man 1? That has nothing to do with anything.
what the
with
Avengers
Ultron.
There's a bunch of other stones that, like Thor: Dark World and Doctor
They might
Strange.
say that. But regardless, they made this list, and I think there is going to be. What if we put more people back in these fights that gave us that edge, so that everything wasn't always like so tipping,
Yeah.
and now they have a stronger foundation, so that when it comes time to fight Thanos, like again in that snap, they can prevent it, and they might kill Thanos because now Thor has the knowledge that he needs to aim for the head. Well, that's just it.
Or maybe they'll show him some semblance of mercy and be like, listen, like you're not gonna get what you wanted, and we're not gonna give you the easy way.
Well, I wonder if like he like takes that like one punch. And just knocks
I
him out.
think at some point in the film they're gonna be going back, slowly fixing and undoing what Thanos has done. And I think wherever he's at, whether it's dead or incapacitated, he's gonna be like, they're undoing my stuff. I need to stop this. And I think he's gonna gear up, get his little new sword thing. He's gonna get the Outriders, and I think he's going to go to the Avengers headquarters where they are using the quantum tunnel to do this work from. And he's gonna be like, I gotta shut this down. I gotta go here. I gotta kill these guys. And that's where I think from the newest trailer, Captain America mentions like, you know your jobs, you know your teams.
Teams,
Right?
strategy split up.
So I think they're gonna have the time travel team or the reality team, and then they're gonna have a team like, you gotta protect home base. If Thanos wrecks this, there goes our hope of
I wonder
fixing
if like
it.
Ant-Man and Captain Marvel, like in like the small group that we didn't know, they go in there to time travel.
Well, it's so hard to piece this together with the trailers because it could be misdirection. Because there's scenes of them in the red and white suits, which
Yeah,
I'm assuming are quantum suits. But then there's scenes where they're like, we're gonna suit up, and it shows like just regular Ant-Man and War Machine putting down their mask. And there's even scenes of Cap in like rubble, like pulling his shield. I'm thinking that might be the Avengers Mansion battle scene. There's a scene where like Ant-Man in what looks like the same area, like jumping over. It looks like a waterfall, but I'm assuming it's just like a trickle of water, like coming out of some of the rubble.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that battle is going to be like a huge set piece.
I mean, there's got to be a climax because with
Yes.
yours, people want to see Thanos get defeated. So if he gets defeated in the first half, I feel like that.
I think it's going to be
There's
more
gotta be
like
something
an
more.
incapacitated,
Yeah.
but they lose, and then they find a way to undo it, and then they finally defeat Thanos in that last like battle.
There's definitely going to be many
And
battles.
this is where I think
3
the story is
hours.
going to go. I think if we're going the Cap dies route, I'm thinking he either uses the device, or maybe they can't finish the device, so Cap just somehow like harnesses the raw power of the stones. And I think he's going to use that power to bring like all of the Avengers back to finally defeat Thanos and his army. Sacrifice himself. At the end of the movie, I want this scene where there's like a statue of Captain America and Tony and his daughter or son, and Pepper Potts are like, thanks Cap, and walk away into the sunset. That's how the film ends.
Either that or the Soul Stone might need to get revitalized. Because I think all of them are in the Soul Stone.
You think so? I've heard that theory.
That'd be,
Where instead of they
Isn't
get
that very
eliminated,
isn't that very comic-y?
they all got sucked into the Soul Stone.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
I do
something?
believe
Because
it.
they're like a soul world or
Yes,
something.
because they didn't necessarily die. They didn't like just fall over. They turned to dust.
Yeah.
So that makes me think maybe their souls and their physicality were like brought into the stone.
Yeah.
But
Like,
no matter what,
like a universal balance.
just as an homage to the comics, because in the comics, Nebula gets a hold of the gauntlet, snaps again, undoes everything.
True.
So
She deserves that.
I do want her to at least have a moment whether she's like, maybe she picks up the gauntlet, like thinks about it, if they don't want to quite go that route, and then decides not to, or something.
Or maybe she makes the sacrifice to bring Gamora back, who's her sister, and then defeat Thanos.
That would be so heartbreaking.
As like a final, like, hey, you screwed me over my whole life, you tortured me, I was never as good as Gamora, but I was able to be the one to beat you.
Yeah.
Like, that would be some
like,
cool...
She snaps, brings everything back,
and Thanos, and she's like, dies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a scene, very little, of her getting like blown back and like screaming and charging at someone, and it looks like it's in that same like atmosphere that they showed Ant-Man.
That would be so depressing, but I think it's a good concept. So.
Again, from a story perspective, like, it sucks and it's emotionally sad, but it makes sense, and it would be very like memorable. So, if we're talking undoing of the snap, is that what we're thinking is going to happen at some point?
I think Nebula's going to do it.
Do you think there will be still real deaths beyond like Cap or Iron Man? Like, do you think some things will be permanent? I think we know Cap and Winter Soldier are probably coming back. They got a TV show. Yeah. We got WandaVision.
You mean Winter Soldier and Falcon?
Yeah. That's what I mean, sorry. Winter Soldier and Falcon. Sure. They're getting a TV show. WandaVision getting a TV show. So we know that probably...
Black Panther's got another movie. Spider-Man's got another movie.
Well, Spider-Man's already been confirmed that he's alive, unless that was some kind of crazy...
There's no way Sony is going to let Marvel keep Spider-Man dead. That's way too much money on the table.
Yeah. So, I think with all of that, Nebula's definitely gone. I think Mantis could possibly be gone, which would be really depressing.
That'd be sad.
I'm sorry, Mantis. She's unnecessary.
What's it like? How do we cut some of the unnecessary?
I think Gamora's gonna stay dead. I think that would be a very meaningful death to stay that way. I don't know if they'd want to keep Zoe Saldana off the table.
But you know
She's a
what?
great actress.
That could be the driving force of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where now Chris Pratt is having this emotional tear where he's finally felt love for the first time, and she's gone, and then Adam Warlock comes in, and they got to stop him.
They fall in love.
Well, no, now they got to stop Adam Warlock, and then they start to discover what Adam Warlock's capable of, and Whew. Okay, so. Lots happened.
Yes.
Thank you for sticking with us. Put your theories down below. Don't spoil it for anybody if you saw it. Don't put that below. Nobody wants to see that.
Here's my theory. Entire plot.
He's going to Wikipedia copy paste. And if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, go to social media, follow us there, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at 4 News by Geeks. And until next time, I'm PK.
And I'm Bozer.
And I'm Nick.
We just keep geeking out.